Hello and welcome back to Confessionals and Congressionals. My name is Lauren,
I'm Cassie.
and we are here with a special episode for you today. We are recapping and giving our commentary really on Thirst Trap, the documentary about that TikTok guy that went viral and all the moms were obsessed with. We
Yeah.
are going to recap and give commentary on the Charlie Sheen documentary, which I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion because I haven't looked at a ton of like online commentary about it yet, but I really liked it.
I did too. I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked it. Basically, we watched two documentaries over the weekend about extremely charismatic men who have addiction problems and who leave a wake of destruction in their path. It was really interesting to watch and like see the kind of comparison between the two of them.
Yeah, it was interesting too because I was like, wow, there's some parallels just with like the fans and I think like what that means. And so yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, and it also has parallels with Kelly Wolf, and we don't really have a ton of updates except she's back on social media being crazy, but and we're not probably going to talk about it really. I don't think there's really anything to say at this point except we hope that she gets help, but he said something in the documentary that really made me think about the impact of fame on mental health.
Yeah. Are you talking about Charlie Sheen?
Both of them really.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
and the way that people that like attention in that way are fed by their fans, and then the way that that encourages in their mind bad behavior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with Jax. Like I couldn't help but think of Jax when I watched that documentary about Charlie Sheen. I was like, wow, the parallels are really interesting, even with
Yeah, and
Jax.
right. And it's interesting too because it's like unfortunately you kind of want to keep feeding the beast. It's like even with TikTok or whatever, which we'll get into the social media of it, you're compelled to want to make more TikToks about Jax Taylor's podcast and things like that because that's what people will consume.
Yeah.
So we don't want to talk about Jax, but it's like, well, people apparently want to hear about Jax.
I mean, I like on one hand, yeah, I don't want to feed a beast. I don't want to continue to feed a beast, and like, what responsibility do we have? And I guess we can talk about that. But on the other hand, I am like sickly fascinated with the type of person that Jax is, and like trying to understand the psyche that exists in that type of person, the type of person that like not everybody has the honor of having in their life.
Well, and you're, obviously not alone, or it wouldn't get 500,000 views.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then we also have some social media updates that or not social media, but pop culture updates that I wanted to share with you. Some of them I've seen on social media, and you're off social media right now, so I don't know if they've all gotten to you, which I kind of feel like they will have all gotten to you because you're not offline.
Right.
As I've
Right.
learned today that you're not offline when I'm getting like People magazine articles from you and stuff.
Yes.
So you've probably seen everything that I've seen, but I wanted to talk about some of the Valley updates now that they've started filming. The Taylor Swift privacy wall.
Yes. Yes.
And Brittany went to a Chris Brown concert, and I just want to I want to process that with you. And that
Okay.
I just saw strictly on social. You probably didn't see that.
No, I did not.
And then there was an article about Nick Cannon saying that him having all of these kids was a result of trauma, and I was like, no, you piece of you for like, no, sorry, cut that, cut that. But I'm just like, these fucking men, if they would just go to therapy.
Yeah.
I'm so annoyed. It's so annoying to watch these men like leave a destructive wake of chaos in their path and then be like, oh my God, maybe I was actually responding to my childhood trauma.
Right. Right. Like, welcome. Welcome to what we all work on all the time. But you just get to keep using that. Yeah. After
Yeah.
you've made all the mistakes.
Please subscribe, follow, like, comment, leave a review on Spotify if you feel the wish. Also,
5-star only. 5-star only.
Yes. I put up a poll on our last episode on Spotify, the one before this one, asking people what show they would watch us recap next. or which shows. So I put a bunch of shows in a poll on Spotify only. So go check that out. And if you have any opinions on what you'd like to watch us recap, we would be really curious what there's like a hunger for. So
what's the one
head
that
over.
we already said we were for sure doing that has Brittany and
Special Forces.
Special Forces. Okay. All right.
We're going to do Special Forces for sure because it's got Brittany and a couple other people that we like on it. Or like is the right word, but people that we
like Cody from Sister Wives, but we are going to watch his epic fail, I hope.
I heard on a podcast this week that he was training a lot beforehand and that he hopes that this is like his redemption thing.
Very unlikely. Very unlikely. That's like every Jax Taylor redemption arc. It's very unlikely.
Well, it's like when Tom Sandoval went on it, and then he looked like Nick Viall of all people had to carry him through one of the things. And I just saw clips of it. I didn't actually watch the season, but it's like if Nick Viall has to carry you, then there's really something going on. And it was not his redemption, but Traders was, and we want to see him on our TVs again.
Yep, 100%.
Oh my God, tag! You're such a f***ing liar, Camille.
Don't take care. Hope to see you never.
Stop acting like you're the number one guy in the scoop, man. I'm the number one guy in the scoop.
Things that are about to get murderous.
Okay, so Cass, how are you?
I am good. I am completely off of social media. I've deleted TikTok, I've deleted Facebook, I've deleted my personal Instagram. So I have like one little Instagram that I use for something specific, but it's really just to like make sure that I'm keeping up to date on Kelly Wolf is the only reason for its existence at this point. And for some reason, what I think it is, I was talking to my husband about this. We were trying to figure it out. I think it's because I post on that Instagram every day, like tracking my sobriety. But I always post around 5 a.m. because it's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. And I think because I'm always posting at 5 a.m., that is how I ended up becoming like a UK in their algorithms, right? Because that's like the time over there that they might be more on social media. It's not 5 a.m. there.
Yeah, because you've got a bunch of, for anybody who doesn't know, like a bunch of British followers, and you're like, how did I get these people? Where did these people come from?
Right. It's great. I love it. It's perfect because there's not so that has been really nice, pulling away from all of just the commentary about everything has been really nice.
Yeah, because in the UK, they're not talking about all the same things as we are, and they're not as hyped up and revved up and emotional as we are over here in general right now. Not just because of the last week, but just in general. So
yeah. I mean,
safe space.
I think in my feed, I don't know, there's only like 300 people that like follow me on there just for this, for the sobriety part. And I think only one person posted anything about what's happened.
Oh yeah.
But I still am watching the news.
I like my stomach dropped when you said that again, and I already knew that because you just told me that before we started recording. But I'm like, why are you still watching the news? So go ahead, justify yourself.
Well, it's not that I don't want to be informed. I want to be informed. And this afternoon, I knew that on Tuesday afternoon, we were going to finally see the charging documents for the person that's been accused of this. And I mean, just you look back at some of the podcasts that we did where we were getting into different Supreme Court cases or different rulings that were being made. I print out the whole thing. Like, I like to see it for myself. I don't want to hear people's commentary because we so often run with that as fact. Like, let me just read it. Let me see what we've got here.
Yeah.
And I did. I read the charging documents and I listened to some of the press conference, and it's hard to not get bummed out, But I would say for the most part, I'm only like, I check 2 news websites every day, and I don't click beyond the headline unless, like, the only reason I clicked today was because I've been waiting for the charging documents.
Yeah.
Right. So like every update that's coming in, all of that, I'm not watching.
Yeah.
And I do find that it's helping, like, my own mental health to not just see what the thing is that all of these big tech giants that are making money on us, we all know that they are feeding us things that are going to trigger emotions because it keeps us engaged, whether that is outrage, whether that is sadness, whatever. And you're just going to be pushed that shit nonstop. And eventually, especially with what happened, it gets to you. But I will say, my husband told me that he had been seeing a lot of posts, because I'll ask him, like, so did I miss anything big on TikTok? He knows not to tell me, I don't want to hear anything negative. I just don't. And he said, you would be surprised that I am seeing more and more people that are saying they're either stepping away from social media or they need to do a better job limiting it, that this is all getting too ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives me a little bit of hope.
Yeah, they even mentioned that on Pod Save America today. They were talking about how much social media feeds like the toxicity of our culture right now. And you had been talking about that too. And it's like some people are like, you can take social media out of my cold dead fucking fingers, like you're not taking it from me. But I don't think it's disputable that social media drives a lot of the division and yeah, toxic rhetoric around things, and like makes us feel more divided. It makes us feel angry at the other side. And I've been having some thoughts, Cass, about the state of the world and about how angry and justified in my anger I feel about the direction that this country is going in, and how scared I feel about our future, about the future of our kids, about the world that they'll live in, the country that they'll live in, whether we'll have midterms, whether we'll have another election. Like, I start to get myself all worked up. I went all over town this week trying to find a COVID shot because you can't get one now in the state of North Carolina without a prescription. And you have to have some sort of like qualifying factor to get it. And I'm just like, I thought you guys weren't going to limit vaccines. I thought your whole thing was people having choice.
Yeah.
And I was really fucking pissed off and scared because my son is immunocompromised and our pediatrician doesn't have COVID vaccines. They didn't get them. Yeah. So anyway, they like dropped the need for a prescription for adults. So I was able to get one finally today. But it is a scary time that we're living in. And I don't want to be an angry, bitter asshole. And I don't want to see a celebrity that I like on social media, like talking about how they're sad about what happened this week and then be like, fuck them, I'm unfollowing, I'm never listening to a single thing they say again. Like, I liked them up until that point. So what has happened that's made me so black and white about it? And I don't know what the right thing to do is as like a bleeding heart leftist, basically. Like, I'm becoming more and more radicalized by the day, to be honest, about like, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, is it offending you that I think everybody should have health care and that women should have like paid maternity leave after they have a fucking baby? Like, go fuck yourself, but I don't want to be filled with anger and bitterness. I don't want to have anger and bitterness towards my family. I don't want to have that towards anybody. Like, I don't want that. And I feel the toxicity inside of me. So anyway, I've been reflecting as well. I think that everybody feels like the fever pitch happening. And yeah, I'm not like thinking about getting off of social media because I'm always like ebbing and flowing with it. I take it off my phone and put it back on my phone and take, all the time. So all of that, but I understand the need to like take away some of the noise and just think for yourself for a second.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it was really interesting, and just I both spoke to and hung out, I think I said last time, like with a lot of people in the last week that I've known for 30 years. We all like kind of experienced 9/11 together, and we just had so many conversations about how sure we were that we wouldn't have that unity even for a brief minute if it happened today. And that just makes me really sad. And I think we have to be careful that we don't make anybody just one dimensional. We're all so many things every day. There's so many pieces of us and so many different things that matter to us. And we've become where it's all about one thing, you know? And that what I think is that if we were, even when I see people make comments I don't like, or, you know, a celebrity makes a post like you were saying, I truly believe that the majority, if we like sat down on my back porch and had a cup of coffee and chatted, would find some middle grounds and would also see where we're misunderstanding each other. And, you know, but right now it doesn't feel like that. You know, I don't even know who us and they are anymore. You know, we've all just really pigeonholed each other, and it makes me sad. But it also, you know, I think I would tell anybody that has kids, especially teenagers, like, this is a great opportunity to talk to your kids, you know, and make sure that they understand critical thinking and not judging everything on one thing. And just little things like when your kids come home and tell you something, ask them to cite their source. You know, like, you'd be surprised how much they'll be like, well, Twitter. And you're like, well, that doesn't make it a fact. Let's go look a little deeper, shall we? Like, you know, just start having more conversations and finding out, you know, what they're seeing and what they're hearing. And we have to get to a better place, you know? And just because, like, I've heard a lot just about what's going on and what's being said at high levels. And you don't have to look to leadership to say the right thing. You know, like, you can still do that yourself and wish that we had leaders that were doing it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, you can wish they would say the right thing, because that would be nice. But we're not in that timeline.
Right.
We're not in that timeline. We're in the timeline where our leaders are trying to continue to increase the divide because it benefits them. And yeah, I guess it's almost like, actually, I'm not playing along with this game.
Right. I think that's the biggest part. Is like, I look at, like, sometimes I read old speeches and old letters. You know, the presidents used to write to their wives and write to their friends, right? They didn't have internet. And so many of their letters are published. And I'll go back and I'll read. I love reading, like, Abraham Lincoln's letters, Thomas Jefferson's, and thinking about those better angels. And I do believe that we, you know, here's the thing. Could this be the tipping point to something way uglier, what's just happened? Yup. Is it also possible that it's the tipping point to us collectively saying, we are done with this kind of thing. We're done with this kind of division. We demand better. We demand more from each other. We demand more from ourselves, equally as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess there's something about being, like, right now in the media, the liberals are being painted as like the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
Which is really weird to feel, because part of being a liberal is getting to be on our high horse, right? Like, our moral high horse. And it's a reckoning to have to think about how, you're not always the hero in all the stories. Some people, in some people's stories, you're the villain. And I don't know, there's something about that makes me feel like, okay, actually, how do we come back together? And I wish that the right had that sort of impulse when they're villainized, but they don't.
Well, but think about, like, just that statement. Like, think about how you can reframe that, right? Because what you mean are the talking head right that are on TV.
And the loud voices on social media, right?
Right. But is it possible that, you know, we have a family member that is a Republican, and I pretty strongly so.
Republican.
I know. And she's going to be here next month. And I have no doubt that if her and I sat and talked a little bit, that we would probably feel very closely aligned on a lot of things. And she is, I'm sure, very bothered by the division that she's seeing and would want to believe there's a way that we can talk. So it is not just the right and the left.
Yeah.
Like, we have to stop letting them do that to us.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah, I appreciate that perspective. Sometimes I'm not like ready to be there with you yet.
I know.
And I know you know that, and I love that you respect where I'm at.
No, I think I like sent you an audio note and like you responded and like went on, but made sure not to touch what I brought up. And
Yeah.
I was like, all right, she is not in a headspace where she wants to touch this. So I'm not bringing it up again.
I'm not proud of my initial reaction to what happened.
I know.
And I've had to reflect on that. And I think that has like, like I don't get to be on my moral high horse if I'm going to respond that way.
I know. And it's hard. And I think, that was something my husband said that I said to him that really got to him. And he got really emotional because his reaction was similar to yours.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, well, I don't want to be like them. I want to be better than that and maintain my empathy. And it really hurt him, because he was like, oh, fuck. But I don't think there's a right or wrong way to feel in the moment.
Right, because I saw something that I felt really resonated with me. I think it was on the XX chromosome Reddit group. And it was just somebody being like, I don't have to sympathize with my oppressor. And that's how I feel. Like, you are trying to oppress me. I don't have to feel bad for you. That's how I felt. And I've evolved in that opinion since then. Everybody has the right to do and say and feel however they want, I guess. Not do whatever they want, but you know what I mean. But MLK Jr.'s family, they responded with love and grace. And if they can, then I can,
Yeah.
So
and anyway, I think it's important to note, too, that, like, you're being emotional right now and you're being vulnerable. Nobody's, like, come for your job. Like, this is just from a genuine human being that wants to be there. And I think that that's beautiful. And I think we should all be willing to just, like, change our minds and open our hearts, like, because that's what, in my opinion, our side has always been about. I hate to say our side, but I've always
what we can say is that is one of the core tenets of why we believe the way we do. Why we think that people should have access to healthcare. Why we think that we want this to be a safe, free nation where we take care of each other. That is what that is foundational to what we believe.
Yes.
And I have let my anger and rage and disappointment and fear create a version of me that I'm not proud of.
Well,
so thanks for helping me.
Well, hey, you got there in like 5 days. So,
well, I don't know if I'm there, Cassie. I'm not there.
I know, but I mean, there are people that still think like, that level is where they want to stay. And I want better for us. I want better for all of us. I want to show my kids better than that. I don't want them to think that that's my reaction, like never. So,
okay, I'm proud of you. To wipe my tears.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
And like I felt really like shitty when I saw that. I sent you a picture that Penelope, unbeknownst to me, like went through the drawers of my desk and found stickers and took them and put them all over her water bottle that she takes to school. And thank God my husband found it before she went to school the next day.
Yeah.
But I thought if she would have taken it, that teacher would have thought she's being raised in a really hateful house. And that really made me pause and think about what I want to show her, no matter how I feel about what's going on. Like, but what's the kind of person I want her to be?
Yeah.
Is it the person that, like that's, I don't, it definitely gave me pause and made me think.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's great. I think anytime that you can step back and honestly self-reflect, it is a skill so many don't have. And it's so important.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, thanks, Cass. That's our political tangent for the day. Thanks for listening. We're going to move on to, I don't know if it's the lighter stuff, but it's the different stuff.
what is that? Oh, yeah, the
It's
lighter
not
stuff.
necessarily lighter, but
Did I miss anything on social media this week?
So this week on social media, I mean, off the top of the head, I can't think of anything. I'm sure there was a lot that I raised my eyebrows at, but it was probably nothing that you want to hear. But I did raise my eyebrows quite high, and I laughed at the gym. I was down bad laughing at the gym today at the Nick Cannon saying that his kids were a response to trauma. I'll put the thing up on the screen if you're watching on video, but this is from People Mag, and it's like Nick Cannon says having 12 kids was a response to trauma, admits he was being careless and frivolous with his process. And he says this: it wasn't like I was acting out. It was more like being careless, being frivolous with my process because I could do it, because I had the money and because I had access to whoever and however I wanted to move. He said, then obviously life happens as well. So I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to have 12 kids. It was more like, yo, I'm just going to live life and have fun, and whatever happens, happens. I can handle it.
I think that's a really good attitude to have when you're 19.
The next paragraph, being almost 45 now.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. I could sit back and if I would have thought the process through a little bit more and took time to actually do the inner work, he continued, things might have been a little different in certain scenarios. No shit. So anyway, I feel bad for I don't know his particular situation, but I imagine that the mothers of these kids are probably not super stoked about the situation that they found themselves in.
Yeah.
And I hope that he is providing them with enough money to get all the childcare and help that they need. That's what I hope for.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that, people can be like, oh, well, he's rich. Dude, it's 12 kids.
Yeah, it's 12 kids.
That's going to add up quick.
Yeah, and they're not shopping at Aldi, like the rest of us.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. In other news, so a bunch of pictures have come out for the Valley filming.
Okay.
So far, Sheena and Brock have not been in any of them.
Really? I'm surprised because I would have sworn Sheena and Lala are.
Lala is.
Oh.
Lala's been in all of them.
Really?
She's so far been at every event that we can tell for the Valley. So she's there.
What about Janet?
Is also missing, except for there was that one photo of Janet, Lala, and Michelle walking down the street.
Okay. Were there
cameras? She was in that. What?
Were there cameras? Like, were they filming when they were in that?
I believe it was a picture from filming, but it might have just been a picture of them on their way to I don't really know what the context of the picture was, I guess.
Okay.
But definitely, everybody online was like, oh, this is filming for the Valley, whether they were on the way to set or to an event that was going to be filmed. I'm not really sure if it was that kind of thing, but they had an event this weekend or at sometime in the last week. They had a Y2K party, which so cute. Love that for them.
Okay.
I love a black plastic choker necklace. I love it was just so Y2K. It was really fun. But anyway, Lala was there. Sheena and Brock were not there. Janet and what's his face, at least in the pictures, weren't there.
Wow. But they haven't announced the cast shakeup. We're just all kind of
They haven't even announced that there's gonna be a season 3.
Oh, wow. You know what? It's so funny. I got so confused because today I was trying to listen to Brittany's podcast. I was like, I haven't checked in on that in a while. Let me listen. And I start listening. And I'm like, what is going on? Because they're talking about how they just watched the preview for the Valley and what does everybody think? And I'm like, and Michelle is on and she's calling Jesse her husband. And I'm like, what is happening? And I guess she does these rewind episodes now and then where she just plays an old one. And I'm like, well, you should have started this episode by saying I'm about to play an old one or something. That was
really funny. Yeah, speaking of Britney, so she went to a Chris Brown concert and she like posted it on her Instagram, like at Chris Brown official and at somebody else, I don't know who else. And I'm gonna tell you something. I think I'm on the precipice of not liking Britney anymore.
Yeah.
And okay, so just, we've entered into pop culture and, reality TV territory where we're allowed to be judgy bitches because that's the whole fucking point, okay? So I just need to like caveat that. These are our characters on TV shows. We're allowed to hate them because they're characters on TV shows, okay?
Yep.
So maybe not hate, but judge. So Brittany, it's a really bad look to be coming out of an abusive relationship and going to and supporting an abuser's concert and then posting it on your Instagram. Like, it's very tone deaf.
That's the part too. Like, first of all, I think it's weird that she wanted to go unless she, like, I don't know how you could not know, right? Like, and I just say that because there's been a couple times where there's been someone whose music I really like and a good amount of time goes by before I learn about this thing everybody else knew about.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
you're like, oh my God, don't cancel me. I didn't know.
Yes. I'm like, I just thought this song was meaningful. Fuck. Like, I wouldn't have made it my Instagram story.
I know. But I still listen to all my favorite, early 2000s punk bands, even though I know that pretty much every single one of those lead singers has like essayed somebody at this point or done some really shitty stuff.
Right.
But, so it's nostalgia. So I get it.
Right. But with Chris Brown, I feel like we all know. And also, even if I was like, God, I know, but I just really have always loved his music. Like, I can't help, like, whatever. I promise you, I'm wearing like a baseball cap like you have on, dark glasses, and I'm never posting it anywhere ever.
Yeah. Like, she posted it. So she wanted people to know. And if the excuse is that she doesn't know about the Chris Brown allegations and stuff, then I guess I understand, but like it's the same excuse they used for that pastor, not to like hold her to a behavior that she did like 10 years ago, but like that's what they said about the pastor. And it's like, you didn't know? Everybody and their mom was tagging you on Twitter being like, yo, this guy's I almost said homosexual, probably, but he's what is it?
Homophobe.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good look. And if she wants to be conscious about her public image, she should not be doing things like that. Like, up to you. If you want to be canceled alongside with Jax, that's great. You're heading there.
Yep.
You do not look good right now. There's not a positive sentiment about you right now. People think you're a shitty friend, a selfish person, somebody who should have left Jax a long time ago. I don't necessarily agree with all those things, but I'm just saying, like, that's the public perception of you right now. So don't do that. Where's Ariana's publicist? Get Ariana's publicist in here.
Well, and I think like to that last sentence you said, like people think that you should have left Jax a long time ago. I think people would have had no problem not judging her for that if we saw some different characteristics coming out. It's like the fact that it feels like you learned nothing, you're still surprised by things. Like, remember when
you're supporting an abuser.
Right. Like it's like, just hard to make sense of if I don't know if you've seen anything differently.
I mean, it makes me feel like she doesn't. I don't even know. It makes me feel like I've always said she just doesn't think very hard about things, and that's really the nice way to put it. But where's Zach? Not that Zach has to save her, but like, hey, your best friend is a gay dude. Like, you should, by being his best friend, have been educated on how to be a good ally to not just gay people, but all minorities, all people. Like, this should be part of the whole thing that you've learned being in such close proximity to somebody like Zach. And it's just like disappointing.
Yeah.
that the takeaways haven't been taken apparently.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
had no idea that she went to that.
Yeah. Yeah, and the filters are filtering on her Instagram. She looks like a completely different person.
Yeah, hers are always pretty.
I'm like, are you okay, dude?
No, the answer is no.
No.
Okay,
so
and
what
she's
was
another one that I think would do well to be off of social media a little bit, because I think that, she's done podcasts where she's talked about trolls. Like, I do think she's too in the comments and she reads too much of what is said about her, and she tries to like overcompensate to prove that it's not true or whatever, and it doesn't come off well.
No. You're totally right. I think she's it's like on one hand she's very aware of her public image, but on the other hand it's like she can't help herself apparently from being annoying.
Yeah.
And like dense.
Right.
Yeah, her PR is awful. I mean, Lori K should not have a job in Hollywood anymore after managing these two people's PR for all this time. I don't know how she has clients left, because
listen,
people hate these two.
Just imagine that you're like Kelly Wolf's PR. Like, you can only do so much, Yeah,
but Brittany is moldable.
Well, that's probably true. None of them should be running their own social media, first of all. Like, that is so baffling to me. Like, they should all be like, hey, they should be texting what they want to post to Lori, and then she'll decide what she posts for them.
Yeah. But I'm not a PR expert, but just I would fire them.
Yeah.
The whole team. I think they have a team that all works together, the manager, the PR person, and the lawyer,
Oh no, I thought you meant the other way around. Like, because that's what I was thinking, is if I was their PR person, I would fire them as clients.
Well, yeah.
I would be like, I'm not going to be no, if you're not going to take my advice and do what I say, and you're just going to keep being you out here, then this isn't going to work, because I can't be judged off this.
Unless she doesn't think anything's wrong with what's going on, or I don't know, maybe Brittany's trying to align herself with not a progressive sort of thing. I don't know. I have no idea. That would be very surprising, considering again that her best friend is Zach, but yeah, pretty weird behavior. Do we know if her boyfriend has been filming? Has anybody said whether they've seen him? No, I haven't seen him in anything. I haven't heard her say that he's filming. I saw some TMZ clip of her talking about him. She said they've known each other forever and kind of reconnected recently. They knew each other from Kentucky. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, and they reconnected recently, and that he's an amazing dad. He makes her feel good about herself, that classic thing. I'm like, fucking go to therapy, Brittany. Yes. Don't use men to make you feel good about yourself. You've gotten in trouble there before. Yeah, just a bit. Yeah. I want to like her. I feel this like big conflict coming out, because it's like, I want to like her. I want to support her. I want to see her do better for herself, but she's got to evolve in order to be a fan, I think. So, yeah. Also, Katie Maloney and Sheena are beefing. Did you get the wind of any of this? No, I did hear that Sheena and Lala were. Yeah, evidently. People are saying that it could be just a thing for the show, but I don't think it is. I think they are so beefing. Either. Yeah, I think so too. Like, the way Sheena described her sending her the book and the box and all of that was so Sheena. Like, it was so funny when she was like, and then she hadn't posted about it. So I reached out because I just wanted to know, like, I just want to make sure you got it. Do I need to reach out to my PR people? Did they not get it to you? No, just say, I wanted to know. I know that you got it, and I wanted to know why you weren't posting about it. Like, you don't have to do all this subtext, like, no, I was just curious. Just stop. No, that I feel is legit. What happened with Katie and Lala, or Katie and Sheena? Well, yeah. Well, then Lala said on her podcast, she was like, yeah, I got the box. I got the book. I didn't post about it. Basically, she was like, Sheena is just being Sheena, and I'm sure that it will blow over. But she
Right.
didn't make any apologies. She wasn't like, I'm so sorry. I'll do it right now. Like, nothing. She's like, I don't really know what's going on with Sheena. I don't know where her head is at. I'm sure we will come back around. I love her. She's family.
Yeah.
And then with Katie and Sheena, I don't know how it all began, but Sheena was talking about on this PR tour where she just continually shoots herself in the foot because she can't help herself. She was talking about how when they recorded or like filmed her wedding to Brock, her second wedding, on camera, and how, I don't know what she said, but basically like was talking about Katie being there and but not having attended the wedding, you know, like she was just there with Christina
Right.
Kelly. Anyway, sorry, I'm like trying to follow my thoughts here. So Katie on her podcast was like, listen, I don't want to talk shit about Sheena. I don't want to whatever, but because everybody is asking, here's the deal. They weren't going to film that wedding if I wasn't there. I'm a main cast member. They told me, you're going to come, you can bring Christina Kelly, you're going to have your own trip. Then we're going to film the wedding, but like you've already had a wedding like filmed on this show. So the only way that production and everybody was going to agree to film another fucking wedding with you is if I came along and
Okay.
did my own trip. So that's what production told her, right? Katie got that from production. Production told
Right.
her that they weren't going to film it unless she could come along. Now, it's Live on Air, our little favorite reality TV producer, said that could have been a lie that they just told Katie so that she would come.
Okay. Okay.
But basically, Katie was like, if I didn't go, they were still going to pay me. I was still going to get my rate, like all of that kind of stuff. So it was, you know, basically just kind of defending herself. Katie's also in a little bit of hot water, and a bunch of people are tanking something about her reviews because she said something on her podcast about what happened last week that people did not like.
Oh.
So she had to course correct and be like, I'm not happy that somebody got assassinated, but like, here's where my mind was at, and here's what let me elaborate on what I'm thinking, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes to, you know, what I was trying to say when I was talking with you a little bit last week is that you can feel any kind of way. I just think you don't say it from the rooftop when you haven't had time to digest it. You know, like you talk about it to the people you love the most, and then you see how you feel in a week. Because your initial reaction might not be, you know, just like when you're like in a fight with someone or whatever, like we all know to be a little bit more measured in the immediate, so you don't say something that you regret. And I think it's the same with something like this, you know. It's like we all want to have an opinion, and we're also used to sharing it on different platforms. And there are times where it's like, we just give it a minute. Just give it a minute before, you know.
Yeah, and if I was Ariana, I would be pissed that, like, now they have a business on the line. This is exactly what happened with TomTom or Schwartz and Sandy's, whichever one.
Yep.
Yeah, like, went under because of Sandoval, the Scandoval thing, where it's like, now that you have a business partner that's a friend, you guys have to be making decisions for the business. You can't just say anything off the cuff unless you're okay with the consequences of it.
Right.
But when you have a brick and mortar, the stakes are high. Now, I'm sure that something about her is going to be just fine because they're on the right side of history in terms of like the majority of people are going to support that statement probably. I don't think she was like, I'm so glad, you know. I think she just, was probably speaking a little too soon and maybe a little too candidly, which is sort of how she is.
Right.
She doesn't mince words. I think those are her exact words. So I'm not surprised. My unpopular VPR, well, one of my unpopular VPR opinions is that Katie's kind of a mean girl. And not kind of. I think she's a very, very much a mean girl.
I do too.
I think she has a lot of meanness in her spirit.
Every time I rewatch, I walk away liking her a little less. Every time.
Yes.
And it's interesting because there's parts of her that I very early on, or like clips around her accident, like there's moments where I'm like, where did it change?
Yeah.
Because by the end, I really don't care for who you are.
Maybe she just became more authentic to herself.
Yeah.
I feel like who she is today is who she authentically is. And she's the same today as she was in the last few seasons of VPR.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
She's the kind of person that's like, I'm not trying to please anyone. If you don't like me, you can fuck off.
But here's what I wonder sometimes. It's like, is that authentic? I think it's authentic now. But what I mean is, like, sometimes I see people that like we were talking about with Brittany and the overcompensating. It's like there were times where you felt so uncomfortable in who you were, or you felt like you did want people to like you and all of that. And then you start going to therapy or whatever, and you start doing the work of like, I don't have to seek everybody's approval. I don't have to, right? And then you just go way too freaking far with it.
Yeah,
and
the pendulum
decide,
swings
yeah.
to
And
the
it's like,
side
no,
of like, I can say whatever the fuck I want whenever I want to, and if you don't like it, you can fuck right off.
right, because I don't need your approval. And it's like, well, right, but you don't have to be a dick.
Right. Like
you know.
kindness is actually like kind of a cool thing to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember her saying something. I don't even remember who it was about, but I can't remember if it was on the show or in an interview, whatever, but she was like, he's a white straight man. He's going to be fine. And I remember thinking, I think it was about Clayton. I think it was about Clayton. I think she was on Nick Viall's podcast, and they were talking about Clayton, who had gone through this huge paternity scandal and was falsely accused of impregnating this girl that she just gave him a BJ, and then like accused him of impregnating her with twins, and she had done that before, and like it was a whole thing,
Oh,
right?
dear God.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. And he, like, she's been charged with fraud, like all of the evidence is in, and like, yeah, she lied. Anyway,
Right.
and Katie's response was, he's a straight white man, he's going to be fine. And I was just like, that is really lacking in all kinds of things. Empathy, compassion, openness to that person's experience. Like, I think like Clayton has done a lot of stupid shit on TV. He's hurt a lot of people's feelings. I don't like love the guy. But being on a TV show like The Bachelor, being the laughing stock of the show, being bullied by not only people online, but people on the show, the producers, they made him a laughing stock. They brought a bunch of kids on, and then the kids read mean tweets about him. Yeah, like they were so no, wait, sorry. They brought a bunch of kids on to sing a mean song to him about how he sucks. It was, I think, Clayton sucks. And then in the reunion, they made him read a bunch of mean tweets about himself, like bullying him.
Oh my God.
And he left that show in shambles. Like, his mental health was not good. He's talked about it a lot. He was suicidal. He had really dark thoughts. He was not okay. And he has brought himself up from the ashes and is better today than he was before. So I guess I just feel protective over him, and I didn't like that she said that.
Well, it's dismissive. It's very dismissive, just because, like, I understand, again, that's the overcompensating, right? It's
Right.
like there are instances where that demographic may have a leg up on things. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about a
Right.
human being's experience. That's, and like, yeah, it's that overcompensating. You think you're saying something cool, and I don't want to use the word woke, but whatever. And it's like, you're just diminishing someone's experience. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. And you sound like a jerk.
Yep.
Yeah. And like, I don't want to side with Nick fucking Viall. Are you serious?
I know. That would really make me.
Don't
I hate
make
it
me
when that
do that.
happens. I hate it when that happens.
All right. Well, I think that's, the last pop culture thing. We're really hitting it hard with the pop culture. Taylor Swift and the privacy barrier. What did you make of that? Do you feel like it was a bulletproof thing? My immediate thought was, oh my God, she's pregnant.
Well, there have been pictures now because they went out afterwards,
yeah.
right? So no, I don't think she's pregnant. I don't think. I don't know if it was because it was the first game of the season. I'm really not sure what. It doesn't look bulletproof. It looks like just a, what do you call it? A temporary wall is what they call it, right? And you just wheel it in and out. Doesn't look bulletproof, in my opinion. So I'm not sure exactly why, because she also didn't sit in the what do you call that thing? It's not the box. She didn't sit in the box she normally sits in.
Oh, she didn't. Where did she sit?
No, we have no idea.
Okay, so yeah,
we never saw her during the game. I watched that whole stupid game looking for her, and she was never on.
Okay, so yeah, she must have been trying to protect herself.
Well, and here's the other thing. Like,
I
if
love that you watched the whole game.
I know, well, to be fair, like Travis has football on nonstop now. It's football season.
Right.
But so the other part of that is she had to be sitting somewhere where the cameras couldn't see her. All right.
Oh,
Which means that she didn't have windows, which means that you were wherever you were, you were watching the game on a screen.
right.
Why did you even come?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's a social event, right?
I'm
Like,
sure, but I just don't
yeah.
know, So it
Yeah,
was
like
odd.
odd for sure. Yeah. And they made a big spectacle out of the screen. At least it seemed like they did. Like they recorded the whole thing and everything. Like they could have not done that.
Well,
I think.
you're right. Well, what happened was, I don't even know that it would have come out. The thing is that there are people that are like hardcore Swifties, and immediately what happened was they recognized two of her bodyguards.
Oh.
Because all of the news was reporting that she didn't show up because
Right.
the game was on, she wasn't there. So the story was that she didn't attend, right? And then slowly on Twitter or whatever, some of the Swifties were like, but her two bodyguards are here. That made everybody start going and looking at more videos until they found the one of the screen. And we're like, she's got to be behind that because her bodyguards are over there, right? And so that's how that came together. There's still no photos of her at the game, no indicate, but we know she was there.
Dude, if the Swifties ran the FBI, we would be in real trouble.
I'm telling you, that is so true. So true.
Like, they would have found that guy
within an hour.
45 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
They're like, do you see that little speck on his pants? That looks just like the kind of speck that would be on a, hold on, let me get out my magnifying glass, retainer wall. And there are retainer walls inside of the building that is outside of the campus of that building. So, you know, it's just like.
Yeah, no, they know what they're doing, man.
Yeah, they're crazy. Okay, let's get into Thirst Trap and Charlie Sheen, shall we?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so let's start with Thirst Trap. So this was a 2-part documentary. Would you like to quickly recap what it was about?
Yes, let me just grab my notes too. So it's basically about this guy. His name is William White, and it sounds like it's right around COVID 2000. He does like what do they call these things, Lauren? You got to give me the TikTok lingo where they're like, is that what this starts from? Is they're like lip syncing to somebody else?
Oh, right, which is how TikTok started out. It was a lip syncing app.
Okay, good to know. All right, so he is lip syncing to, I believe, Barry Manilow's Mandy, and it goes viral.
Right, and I will put in a clip here.
If you haven't seen William,
so this goes viral, and I mean, it's on. They have Barry Manilow watching it on the Kelly Clarkson show.
Oh, that's who that was.
Yeah.
Mr. Benny Physics awake. Say hi, Mr. Benny.
Aww.
Say hi. Good morning.
Aww.
You Binky?
All right, so. So I thought it was, I said to my husband, I was like, oh, that's like Rod Stewart's song, right? And he's like, no, it's Barry Manilow. I'm like, oh, my bad. Okay. So then he becomes like a viral sensation, and he starts to get all of these women followers who are older. He's 19 when he started.
Oh, so he was 19 when it started.
Yes. 19.
Because now he's in his mid-20s.
Yeah, now he's 25.
25.
So this was when he was 19 that this started. And these women become pretty obsessed with him. Like they make like fan groups. Like there's one called like the Grotto Girl.
Right. I mean, they're not pretty obsessed. They are like, they have whole Instagrams dedicated to like reposting and commentary on his stuff. That'll be like, you know, Willie's Girl 7.
Yes. Yeah.
and stuff.
They also plan like girls trips because they figure out like where he lives. They figure like what city he lives in, what restaurants he goes to because he's posting when he's in these restaurants. They're also sending.
He's also encouraging them.
Yes.
Like he interacts with them as well. He creates parasocial relationships with them so they feel connected to him too. Like it seemed to me like they don't feel like it's out of the blue for them to like go where he lives and stuff like that. I mean, they are a little crazy, but like he encourages it.
Yes. And the implication is that he also has like an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And they start sending him money. Like one woman says that over the span of like 2 years or 3 years, she sent him like $100,000.
She said between $100,000 and $200,000.
And yeah. And like it gets to a point where he can just like be at the mall and see a pair of shoes and be like, oh, these are cool. And like those shoes and 2 more in this different colors are delivered to his house. Like he's making a career off of this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
More money than you and I will ever see.
Hey, you don't know. Maybe I start an OnlyFans. The sky's the limit. You never know.
The sky is the limit. Yeah, I mean, anything
limit.
is possible. That's what this documentary made me feel.
Exactly.
Anything's possible if you're young, attractive, and charismatic.
Yes. Yes. And then it's 2 episodes. And the first episode I think is really like following his rise, and it's not as dark, right? But we do learn that there is a point where these women, like I said, they're going on different girls trips to places that they know that he'll be.
Right.
One of the fans is known as Disney Mama.
Mm-hmm. Infamously.
And she ends up with on her girls trip, like sees him, hangs out with him, and then goes back to his room and they have sex.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm gonna, for everyone watching, my baby is now laying on the floor in front of me, so I keep handing him things because he can't see. So he doesn't know where his toys go, and they just sort of fall out of his hands, and then they're sitting there. So I'm sorry if that's distracting, but it is what it is. And Cass, just letting you know that's what I'm doing.
That'll be fine. I kind of figured. And so she ends up having sex with him, and then very quickly thereafter, all of this like jealousy starts because some of the women are upset because she got to hook up with him, right? And it's just wild. And you have to understand, all of these women are 40 plus.
Yeah. Living in different countries too, some of them it seemed like. Like there was definitely at least one lady that lived in the UK.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like they start off the documentary kind of interviewing all of the girls and him, like kind of flashes to him too. One lady said that like he'll go live, I guess. I don't know on what platform, but he'll go live. She said that she's only missed 2 of his lives, and one of them was for her son's funeral.
Yeah.
And another woman, or maybe the same woman, had like a candle with his real chest hair on it.
That was so, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. I didn't know what to say about a lot of it. There was one lady that said that she homeschooled her children, and that's when she found him online, and she said that she was scrolling one day and realized that she had been watching his videos for 8 hours. And I'm like, who's homeschooling your kids then?
Right. Maybe. It seems like once he hooked up with Disney Mama is when it seems like things kind of turned, and you started to like have different factions within the groups, you know?
And the way that she described the hookup too was like she wasn't going into it thinking that was going to happen. It didn't seem like she was like enthusiastically consenting, really. I mean, she's an older woman. Technically, like you'd think she had the power in the situation, but she seemed almost like, I guess if this famous young hot guy wants to sleep with me, I will.
Yeah. And then he talks about like another time when he's with a fan and she's like talking while he's sleeping, like sitting next to him and just like touching him and being like, oh my God, he's real. he's
Yeah.
real,
Yeah, that was
and
weird.
that was so weird. That was so weird.
But in the confessionals, he would be like, this is what they wanted from me. They wanted to sleep with me. They wanted, like, it's like in his mind, that's what they were there for. Not the
Yeah.
touching, but I just mean even going back to like the woman who didn't seem super excited about the fact that they had slept together. And maybe she was having like, in retrospect, all
Yeah.
of the fallout that occurred made her feel in retrospect that she wasn't enthusiastic about it, but maybe she was in the moment. Who knows? Yeah. I mean, there was one lady that had a beanie in every color with his signature on it. Like he sells merch, and I guess like
Yes.
they were like, "Oh, do you always wear that beanie?" And she was like, "No, I have it in other colors, but so like sometimes I wear my yellow one."
That was so and the other thing about the documentary that I think was challenging, what like once I was done, because I watched episode 1 and I was like, Lauren, I think we should watch this, right?
Yeah.
And so then I watched episode 2 because I wasn't done yet. And I told you, I'm like, where I'm conflicted on how, like, what we talk about and how is that there's really not a resolution. Because in the second one, he starts to talk about his mental health, he starts to talk about his addictions, just how bad everything starts to become.
Yeah.
But then when the documentary ends, he's still doing it.
Yeah, and he's like right now he's on social media still making videos, very much promoting this documentary.
I was wondering because I haven't been on social, so I was curious, like, what if you
Oh yeah,
saw
he still
anything.
makes thirst traps like as of a day.
Wow.
Yeah, they're a little dark though, to be honest. I mean, literally dark in a darkened room, but also his eyes are red. He does not
It's
look.
different. Yeah, I'm worried about him.
Me too. I think like I messaged you after the documentary and I was like, my takeaway is that I'm very worried about that boy. I do not think that he's okay. I am so curious about the family that enabled this because they were like enthusiastic about their support of him. He made videos with them in the room, like during the holiday, not like sexual videos, but just like videos in general, like thirst trappy videos
And I'm sure
for his
look,
fans.
he's right. He's probably raking in the dough.
Yeah, they're
And
benefiting.
right.
Like child star vibes. It's giving like child star that's being exploited. I don't know what was going on before he was 19. I don't know what the family situation is, but there is something going on there because no reasonable parents would encourage that out of their kid knowing what was going on. They knew that all of his fans were like older women sending him all this money, like sexualizing him. Like that is so weird. I mean, you tell me you're a parent of a teenage boy. Like what would you think if your son came to you when he was 19 and said, "This is what I'm
No,
doing for money"?
I have so many thoughts. So one is that when one of my kids was younger, one of my kids has kind of like an eidetic memory, and so he can speak about football in ways that adults couldn't keep up. Right? Like if you were to say to him, how about the 1972 Super Bowl? He could tell you everything about it. And it's just from reading it once, right? Like that's kind of the kind of memory he has when it comes to something he likes. And when he was in his early teens, he wanted to start YouTube. And I remember thinking I could see it getting views because it's so surprising to see this 11-year-old, 12-year-old that can out-talk any grown-up on the subject of football when it comes to these kinds of things. For a minute, you feel a little tempted, right? Like, God, yeah. But I'm very glad that I also knew he's very sensitive.
Yeah.
Like all of those things were also things that I knew. So it had to be a no, because I'm worried about your mental health if you do this. Then the other part of that is that because I have teen boys, I felt bad because I really judged these women.
Yeah.
Because they're like my age, some of them older.
Yeah.
And I'm just being honest with you. I'm not trying to say the right thing. I'm being honest. It really grossed me out.
Yeah.
Because it's way too close in age to my kids. Like I wasn't at all like attracted to that. It's too young for me.
Yeah, and it's not like he looked older.
No.
He looks like a kid.
He does. And so then I also felt like What would we be saying if this was a 19-year-old girl and these 45-year-old men were making fan clubs and following her? Like, I feel like we would have a different discussion,
Yep.
and I get that that can be because men are more dangerous, and I understand that, but it still just felt icky to me.
It was icky.
Okay, good. I'm glad it wasn't
Especially
just me.
Oh, no, I agree with you. I don't know if people watched that documentary and thought, wow, those women are so justified in their lusting over that 19-year-old boy. I totally get that. Like, no, it was like, what is going on here?
Okay,
with
all
these
right.
ladies?
I was so nervous to say that because I remember you were like, oh, he's giving me the Love Island guy vibes.
Oh, no, but I mean, he's like in his 20s.
Right.
I just mean like there's a specific energy, the charisma, I think fake confidence, but still like the way that they exude fake confidence, the way that they're just like they're performing, that feels similar to Rob, for you guys, Rob C from Love Island, who's going to be on Traitors this year.
Nice.
But I mean, I think Rob is like 26 or something. He's not like a kid.
There's something that, I mean, even seeing him in the interviews that he does, his face and body have taken on more structure of a man.
Yeah, and still, I'm like, still too young.
Yes.
Still way too young.
The thirst trap ones, and I just felt like I know a lot of these women, if they have kids that are around his age.
Yeah.
And so this is just, to me, it was almost uncomfortable to like watch them sexualize a 19-year-old.
I think it was meant to make you feel that way.
Okay, good.
I don't think you're alone in that at all.
Okay.
It looks like Rob was born in 1998. What does that make him? I think that makes him
27.
Yeah. Listen, you're going to love Rob. He is, like, when I watch Love Island, I'm like, these are all children. Why are they making out like that? Like, they remain pure, definitely young, but I just meant like the energy of it and the fact that like there's a sexual nature to it that most people that age don't have. I mean, people our age don't even have. There's just a certain part of it that I can see would be alluring. And when I watched it and I watched all these women like lusting over him, I thought like the women want a man, especially I think middle-aged women. Listen, this is probably I'm just guessing here, but middle-aged women want a man that like arouses something in them that their husbands just never could at this point, right? Like you've been with whoever you're with for like 15 years, or maybe you're divorced and you're divorced because every time you had sex with them, it felt like a chore. Right. And you didn't really want to, but you had to. And then all of a sudden you see this thing, whatever it is, whatever he had going on, awakens something in you that you forgot existed.
You think maybe it's like nostalgia? You know what I mean? Like that's what they're attracted to. It's like it reminds them of first kisses and like that piece of it. I'm trying to find a justification so they're not all pedophiles, is what I'm saying.
I know. Yeah. Right. And like it's not a justification. It's actually not a justification. I think it just explains the phenomenon, especially during COVID, right? That's when it all started. Like I think that factor also has a lot to do with it. Everybody was very lonely and really freaked out. And there was probably some part of having a connection with other women that you had something in common with, even though it was fucking weird, that felt good.
Well, I mean, obviously I find it much healthier, but I look at the Swifties and we've talked before about like that sense of community that you get with these women, right? Where it's about more than just her music all by itself. It's also the way that we're kind to each other and support each other and whatever. And I hope that that's part of it. It's just that like I wish I sent you, because at first I was like, maybe this is just me because I don't understand thirst traps. Because a lot of the times I feel like women a lot of the times are like more, we're not as visual. in what gets us going. Right. But then I saw like a video of a guy who is definitely older.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, now hold on a second. That's
Yeah.
understandable. Right. But again,
Yeah, and you sent that video to me and it did literally nothing for me. Nothing.
oh my God.
But I'm sure it does something for the cohort of people that it does something for, right? Otherwise,
I'm
it wouldn't
sure
be a
that it
popular
does.
video.
Sure that it does. I'm getting red. Like, yeah. But,
You're like,
but-
oh boy, does it.
yeah. But just to be clear, I would not send him money. It would like that guy, the video I sent you, like when I went to the guy's Instagram, like he had a link to his OnlyFans and I'm like, oh my God, people are sending him money. Like I would not, that's not where I want to find my community.
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
No, it's weird. It is very weird, I think. I think there's a lot going on there. I had the same thought too. First of all, one of my notes was, wow, in the pics, he looks like a kid with like 10 Ds. Like, I don't know what pics they were showing, but like they must have been showing pics of when he was around that age doing other things off of TikTok. And I was like, that is a kid.
Yes.
And I will tell you another thing, because I don't know what, like, if the tables were reversed, like you were just saying, for sure, it would be incredibly weird. All of those guys would be very much frowned upon. And I watched a documentary a few months ago about a girl who was a family. I was actually a mom that ran like a kid YouTube. Did we watch that together?
No.
Anyway, it was like one of those kid YouTubes that were really popular in like 2020, I think, around that same time. Videos of kids like playing pranks on each other and all that kind of stuff. And this mom like ran basically like all of these kids' YouTubes and stuff. And they knew that like 98% of the people that watched that were old men. The mom knew it, everybody knew it. And like they have data. They have you can see what what like the people that watch the videos are. And they would get gifts and all that kind of stuff. And they'd be like, oh, this one's from Joe. We love Joe. Thanks, Joe. And they know who Joe is. They've talked to him on the phone.
Oh
They
my
know how
God.
old he
That
is.
that is so disturbing.
Yeah. So it happens on both sides. It is incredibly disturbing. And the girl is now, I think she's of age now. And now she has an OnlyFans.
Oh, wow.
And I'm actually trying to think. I think she has an OnlyFans now, if she's 18. If she's not 18, then there is an app that you can, I can't remember the name of it, but you can start a YouTube channel. They might have gotten kicked off YouTube. And you can start like an OnlyFans, but the OnlyFans is everybody that makes content is under the age of 18. It's not sexual content, I don't think, but like,
right.
It's
right.
Neither were those YouTubes.
Yep.
That she was
I gotcha.
making.
Yeah.
But everybody that watches it has to be over 18. That's the rule of the platform. So it's basically for pedophiles.
What app is this? This is disgusting.
I know. I can't remember what it's called. And the name of it is like, you wouldn't ever guess from the name of it that's what it does. I can't remember. I'll look it up. But anyways,
wow.
So it was a very weird documentary. And so it's like, there's definitely an industry for this. Those women, I don't know what their story is, but maybe they're also into young men in general.
Maybe. And I don't know. I don't know if it's like feeling like you miss having that kind of attention, or I'm not sure. It just was icky. It was icky. And what's tough is that like this is what he's made so much money on, that hasn't explored any other way to make money.
Yeah.
And so I think he feels very stuck now.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and it seems like his mental health is not good, and it wasn't ever good, really.
Right.
And I think that's a good takeaway too, that he feels stuck, because he's really promoting this documentary and like seems very invested in its success.
He's quit social media a dozen times and
gone to rehab.
And every time he's went back to social media within 2 days.
Yep.
It's like you're just used to them sending you money and sending you gifts. And what do you do if you go offline? What do you do?
Well, not only that, but it's the same thing that we see with everybody that gets fame young, whatever that fame looks like. Now, fame is TikTok. When you get fame young, it like re-fucking wires your brain or something. Like
Yeah.
these peaks that they're on, like, and then the valleys that follow, the dopamine of getting that much attention and validation. I don't know if it's dopamine, but like that gives you that much attention and validation, and then the valley that you hit again, like, no wonder he has addiction problems. I
Yeah.
would too. And the same with Charlie Sheen when we get to him, where it's like you're just always chasing something that feels like that. And when you've gotten that so young, when your brain is still developing, I'm just not surprised at all that it feels addictive and
I
that you don't know
totally
how to
agree.
quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a couple other comments about it. The first is when I was thinking about like if the tables were turned, and they are, right? Like when men sign up for OnlyFans, when older men sign up for OnlyFans for like girls, let's just say they're of age, but like still probably no man is signing up for OnlyFans of a 60-year-old woman. They're all like, in their 20s.
Yeah.
I was thinking about how, like, what drove the women to it, which is my perception is like it awakens something in them they forgot lived there, like a dormant sexual desire that they had sort of forgotten about in the bustle of raising kids and bringing them to school and cooking dinner for your family and all that kind of stuff, right? I think any middle-aged woman that has a family like relates a little bit to that feeling of like, God,
Yeah.
I wish that I wanted to have sex. That would be nice.
Right.
And then, but for men, I think it's the control and validation that they get when they get to pay for a woman's content that they get access to, and then the validation that they get that they can't get from the women in their life, because in order to get that type of validation and attention, they would have to put in effort that they're not willing to put in.
I mean, yeah, it's so tough because I just don't know that it's that deep with guys.
Mm.
Like, I think it's just like, first of all, I think they are visual, and anything different is going to just like immediately spark that, right? And I think like for them, like OnlyFans is almost the same as like a strip club, where it's just like I got to pay a little bit of money, but this pretty girl pays attention to me and dances for me or whatever the case is. I don't really think it's much deeper than that for guys. I really don't.
I'm giving them too much credit.
I mean, yeah, like I just, and I mean, I've seen my husband like follow some women, right? And I told him, I know. And I've told, not on OnlyFans, I mean like on like Facebook or whatever. And
oh my God, you guys are so funny. On Facebook?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah.
You guys are so funny. That's just like,
Yeah.
that is the age gap between us. It's not, we don't have a lot of years of an age gap between us, but the tech age gap is huge.
It's huge. The tech age gap is huge. Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know you could follow people on Facebook like that.
Oh God, yeah. Like I think he follows a couple. It's like the theme is kind of like these tattooed girls, right? But they're all like, what the point is, what I'm saying is that like when we watched this documentary, I told him, I was like, I would honestly feel concerned if I saw that it was like 19-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Like it's the fact that they look like adult women that make it like, if you want to go look at that, it's fine.
Yeah,
Go look at that.
Yes, let's get in the Charlie Sheen doc because we only have a little bit of time left and we've been recording forever. So, do you want to start?
Yeah, so there's a lot that was in this documentary that I did already know, right? But there were definitely a couple things that were like, that's new information. I think he did this documentary purposely to kind of coincide with the release of his book.
Right. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wish they would have mentioned the book in the doco.
I know. So it's a 2-part documentary that was just released to come out at the same time with his memoir, The Book of Sheen. So I'm sure there's even more in The Book of Sheen. I'm sure the publisher would have been like, you can't say everything in the documentary. We need them to read the book.
Yeah.
I have a feeling the book is going to have more details on some of the more, for lack of a better word, salacious things that came out. Right?
Okay.
The fact that he revealed that he had had sex with men.
Yeah.
I think there'll be more details in the book. That's my guess.
You think that they purposely didn't share all of it because that's kind of a breadcrumb?
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
buddy.
Because otherwise we already found out everything, right? And
Yeah,
so it's, go ahead.
I assumed, I think that must be true, whether he's going to share it in a book or never share it, but that having sex with men cannot possibly be the most salacious thing on the menu that you were referring to with the backside.
Right.
He talks
Right.
about how there's a menu of sex things, and when you're on crack, you realize that there's a back to the menu and that there's all kinds of other sex things on the menu. And then they act like men is one of those things. I'm like, babe, men is on the front of the menu. What are you talking about that's on the back of the menu?
Oh God, I can't.
And it might not be things we want to know about.
No, we don't. We don't want to know. We don't.
No.
We don't want to know. You don't have to tell us everything. It's okay. Unless there's like
Yeah.
pictures, and now in the age we live in now, you can just tell everybody it was AI. So you do not have to tell anybody anything.
Yeah, totally.
But this documentary really tracks his whole life, you know, from childhood to now.
Yeah, there was like home camera footage of him and his brother, who I didn't realize that was his brother, Emilio Estevez. I didn't realize Charlie Sheen had changed his name and Emilio Estevez was his brother.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't get the memo.
Well, and again, I think that's just one of those things, right? Like, I'm a child of the 80s. And so, you know, it's like that's when they were all really at their height.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I was a little surprised that neither Emilio Estevez or his dad, Martin Sheen, were in the movie. One of his brothers was. And it sounds
like they opted to not be in it.
Right. Based on like the statement that, or the exclusive that people got, Martin Sheen said that he just felt like this was Charlie's story to tell and didn't want to. And I actually do think that might be the whole story there, because I don't think the brother would have participated if Martin Sheen would have said, we're all not doing this. I really, because they're a pretty tight-knit family.
Yeah, and it might too be like, listen, if you interview me and ask me questions, I'm not going to have the best things to say about how I watched my son destroy his life and be addicted to drugs and leave a wake of chaos and hurt behind. Like, I don't think Charlie's story deserves to have that storyline in it. Like, let it be how he wants to tell it, kind of a thing.
And I also think that he's done this up and down thing so many times that there's a feeling of like, yeah, we really hope that this is the time that sticks.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of rock bottoms.
Yeah.
You know? And we forget that.
Boy, are his rock bottoms rock bottom.
Right? I also think another thing that may be in the book, that I'm hoping is in the book if I choose to read it, they only just for a moment talked about Kelly Preston. And I'm like, okay, but what is his version of events on how she got shot?
Oh, I don't know anything about that. I don't know who that is.
Stop it.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know who that is. I'm assuming it's the ex-wife of somebody?
Okay. So Kelly Preston was a very, very famous actress, and she dated Charlie Sheen. Later, she married John Travolta, and then she passed away from cancer a few years back. So the fact that you don't know that, do you know about Scientology?
Oh, what's that?
Lauren.
I'm just kidding you.
I would have quit. I would have just.
That is actually why I know that name. Then that connection does make sense to me. Yeah.
Okay. So, but when she dated Charlie Sheen, she was shot by Charlie Sheen.
By Charlie Sheen.
By Charlie Sheen, and the documentary talks about it. And like we've never, like, she opens the door to the press that are there trying to get a statement, like what happened, and she's like, oh, he just dropped the gun and it went off. And that is literally the only time it's mentioned in the documentary.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, in the book, are we going to finally hear the real story? Because there were rumors that it was during like a drug-filled fight. Like, I don't know, but I'm hoping that like he sheds light on whatever that was.
Well, it would be an admission of domestic abuse if he did that, so
The
probably not.
statute of limitations has run out on that forever ago. She's passed away.
Well, not that he could be charged. I just mean like it's not going to make him look good.
Well, none of
He's
this
trying to
makes him
redeem
look
himself a little bit.
good.
Is my impression.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I also think like he seems to know he was an ass a lot.
Yeah, an ass is different than shooting your girlfriend because you're mad at her.
Right. Well, but that's just it. Think about that. Like, she's not here to tell her side.
Yeah.
So I'm more surprised that he didn't take that opportunity to say, and I really did just drop it. And then the media tried to like make more out of it. He didn't say a word about it in the documentary.
Probably because he shot her.
But then why not lie? Like, why not touch
I don't know.
touch
If
it
I
at
was
all?
his PR team, I'd be like, just don't say anything about that.
Yeah.
Like, don't give anybody any more things to talk about when it comes to that. I mean, I think that they did a pretty good job of like protecting him from probably his worst behaviors, because I'm sure that there was a lot there. I mean, he was accused of assaulting that actor boy that died by suicide.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, that's the only one of everything that I was like, I don't think he did it.
I don't think he did either, based on the very little Reddit research I did, but just the fact that that guy, Corey Haim, is that his name?
Yeah.
Seems unwell.
He was very unwell. Yeah, it was really sad.
Corey Haim's the guy that died. The other guy that Corey
Feldman
seems unwell, and like obviously is somebody who has gone through a lot of their own trauma in the public eye and does not seem like a reliable narrative.
No. I met him at I used to go to the horror film conventions in my younger days, and he would go for the Lost Boys, and he was at one of the conventions, and I met him there, and when you go to these conventions, you can get celebrities' autographs, but you got to pay for them, right? And so we got his autograph, and his girlfriend was with him, and he was like, for $20 more, she can be in the picture. Well, I don't know who she is, and I don't care. Like, yeah. I'm here because of, this movie. Or not Lost Boys. It was for The Burbs. That's what it was for, The Burbs. And so, I was like, no, that's okay. And I just remember he got so offended that none of us wanted to pay the extra $20 for his girlfriend to be in the photo.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, he was odd. So yeah, I didn't. Yeah. I don't tend to believe that specific rumor.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't either, but I don't doubt at all that there have been things that he did in his drug-fueled, binges that were not good. I'm sure he did some really shitty stuff.
I'm sure he did. But I also think he was taken advantage. Like, I think one of the shittiest things that I heard was that like some of those women were taking photos of his HIV medicine as like an insurance policy to blackmail him. That is really pathetic and sad to me. Like, and I'm glad that he finally had the courage to just decide, I'm going to say it. Yeah. Instead of letting them keep doing this to him.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize that he had HIV.
That was the first you heard it?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't really know anything about him. You're like, I grew up with him, but I know who Charlie Sheen is, obviously, but I only know him as like a Hollywood bad boy that I haven't seen around in a while that was on that show 2.5 Men. Like, that's what I know of him.
How old were you when the whole tiger blood thing happened?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know. I had no reference of that until he said it in the movie.
Did you, wait a minute. Did you go and watch any of the interviews?
No, not outside of the documentary.
Okay, Lauren. Yeah, we might have to talk more about this because you've got to go watch some of the interviews. It was just like during a 1-month period of his life.
Yeah, where
like
he was
that's
just off the rails.
Off the rails. That is the only reason this documentary came out, that the book came out. Like, everybody has wanted to talk about what the hell happened.
Yeah, and it really reminded me of Kelly Wolf.
Yeah.
It really reminded me when he was ranting and raving like that. I was like, that is a familiar pattern of like speech and like flight of thoughts.
Yeah. It was really bad. And you were just watching him blow up his life, you know, whether it was 2.5 Men, his relationship with his kids, going on every TV channel that he could to talk about nonsense. And, you know, it was just wild. It was wild to see this happen.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like, oh, we're watching a different version of that right now with her.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah. So the 2.5 Men part was interesting. Chuck Lorre, is that his name? The guy that created that show. His ex-wife has a podcast that I used to listen to called The Blonde Files, and it's like a wellness, like spiritual. She's in recovery, was a major drug addict. I say that with love, like
right.
Cockroaches climbing all over her while she's wakes up from her drug binge kind of thing. And she's gorgeous, of course. And of course. And anyway, so I found her because of the sobriety stuff. And then I started listening to her podcast, and they got divorced. And I didn't know who he was until she started talking about it on the podcast. And she was like, I'm not really allowed to share. Or she didn't say allowed. I think she was more like, I'm not going to share, probably because she's not allowed, probably because they have an NDA. But like we knew that that's who she was married to. And so then I was like, who is this guy? Because I didn't get the best sense from him. I got the sense that he's an asshole.
I have heard that. I have heard that for years about other he's done a lot of shows. Yes,
Sheldon show, The Big Bang Theory, that's what it's called. Yep. A bunch of dumb shows that I like. Those are not the types of shows I'm into, but I love how confident he is in his ideas. He was like, I had the best idea, and then he describes the 2.5 Men thing, and I'm like, okay.
Well, but I mean, millions of people disagree with you. Like, they loved it, you know? Like,
I guess so. I mean, yeah. But he talked about how they had AA on set, because I think Chuck Lorre is also sober.
Okay.
And they had AA on set, and Charlie Sheen never went to those meetings. And like, it doesn't seem like he's in a structured recovery program, which you don't have to be, but Charlie Sheen might have to be.
Yes. Yeah.
And you don't have to be. I don't have to be. He might have to be.
Right. Right. Especially for how bad he's gotten before and how many times.
Yeah, like on the documentary, we learn that his crack dealer, who he's buddies with, over the course of a year and a half, diluted his crack until he got sober. And they were like, yeah, I guess they were just diluting my crack, and you know.
Yeah. Like
and then he started drinking again.
Right. Right.
I don't know how much longer, but later, but he started drinking again. And he also talked about how he was the one that introduced her to smoking crack instead of snorting cocaine. Right. And showed no remorse for that.
Yeah.
And she did not seem sober.
No, she didn't. And I don't think she hasn't been. I don't know if you know like all the ins and outs of that situation and all their drama, but it definitely seemed like she has not been able to find sobriety.
Yeah. And it did seem like
and I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. I don't know.
Well, the boys are living with him.
Right.
And the boys are living with him. And in the interview, they said that they want their mom to be sober.
Right.
They don't live with her because she's not, it sounds like.
Yeah.
The lady with the birds was wild. I know now we're about out of time here. Yeah. These are just my last rambling thoughts. Okay. The lady with the birds. What a wild fucking lady.
Oh, yeah. You don't know who that is either. Oh, my God. No. You're just missing out on so much. She was like the Hollywood madam. And it was a huge story. Heidi Fleiss, right? Isn't that it?
Yeah.
Huge
And I just feel bad for the birds that are missing all of their feathers. Like, I want bird rescue people to go in there and save those birds. They do not seem
I bet you I bet you it's a rescue she's running. I don't think she's not a bad person. It's probably birds that are sick that she's taking in. She's not a bad person at all. Yeah. I mean, she's had issues with addiction, but she's worked really hard to like come to the other side of that. And I think she felt very betrayed because she was protecting a ton and went down protecting a ton of rich men, you know, refused to give up the black book, refused to, and I think she felt very abandoned by a lot of them after like, I could have outed so many of you.
Yeah, and she even says like, I wasn't Ghislaine Maxwell, like I wasn't going to junior high schools.
Nope.
And it's just like, it's very much parallel to that. Not that that's what she was doing, but I just mean that she also went down.
Yes.
Representing and holding secrets for all of those disgusting men who are literally pedophiles.
Yep.
Including, but not limited to, the one. Okay, my last thought, really quick. My takeaway, Charlie Sheen, a deep, compelling, thoughtful, interesting, smart person who found himself on the crazy ride of being a drug addict and like fame and all that kind of stuff. But like, I can see why people were so drawn to him.
Oh, yeah. And especially like, you know, back in the day, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you know, he was like a good looking, charming, charismatic guy.
Yeah.
That had that bad boy edge.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, a little bit of a bad boy.
A little bit. Little bit. I also want to say that I really loved hearing, because you so rarely get to hear from him on a personal level. I really loved hearing Sean Penn's perspective.
Oh, I don't even remember what he said.
Well, you probably don't even know who he is, do you?
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that, I guess, because I was like, who's this guy? I know who Sean Penn is, but
yeah. So
I have no attachment to him.
There were so many things he said that I thought, like, you know, for whatever reason, I think Sean Penn definitely drank and did drugs and did all those things. But for whatever reason, he was always able to remain functional, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always nice to hear from him. But there was a part where he talked about one of the things that got Charlie in trouble that a lot of other people don't have an issue with. He's like, you know, normally you're doing this much coke and crack and you're drinking. It don't work so good.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Charlie, unfortunately, did not have that problem. That opened up a whole lot of other problems. And that I thought was hilarious and true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. That's really funny. Yeah, I mean, he seems like he loves to have sex.
As was the ice cube in the ass.
Yeah, I wasn't as flabbergasted by that as other people were. I'm like, oh, yeah, I mean, gotta do what you gotta do. I guess I would have probably did ice cubes on the face, but
I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that would not have occurred to me.
That is true.
I wouldn't have felt like you know, like you didn't think like a Celsius, like your first thought was somebody give me an ice cube. I know what to do.
Yeah, that's a drug addict's mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, you know what you could do is shove it up your ass. I've done it with lots of things.
I can't believe, yeah, when you just said like I wasn't that flabbergasted, I'm like, Lauren, really? Because I was really like,
yeah,
I can't imagine.
I guess, yeah, when you put it like, I can't imagine having that thought occur to me, but the actual act of doing it isn't that crazy. Like if somebody said, if you put an ice cube up your ass, you'll like really be awake. I'd be like, okay, I'd try that.
Sure, right. But I mean, if somebody just handed me a cup of ice and went, here, this'll help, I wouldn't be like, for my ass, right?
Yeah. Like, does this go in my ass or my vagina?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Great. Well, there was also a Trump jump scare in there that I didn't love. I was like, oh my God, you guys need to put like a trigger warning on this before you just put Trump up on the screen. But there was like a video of him saying he wouldn't let Charlie like date his daughters or something like that. He's like, great guy.
Would or wouldn't?
Wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, everybody that's listening, we are going to have probably a little bit of a hiatus for the challenge this week. We have a ton of stuff going on next week that's going to make it like really hard for us to record. So we're going to watch the episode, and we might have to recap a double feature of the next 2 episodes, depending on if there's one in 2 weeks. So just if you're here for the challenge content, that's coming, but we're going to be off schedule this week.
Yes. We'll be back.
Yeah. My little baby man is getting surgery. I'm going out of town. You're going out of town. So it's just going to be like a tough little week and a half here.
Yeah.
But we'll be back soon. We love you all. Thanks for liking. Go ahead, give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a follow, give it a comment. We love you, and we'll see you in like a week and a half or something like that.
Bye, guys.